We are back on Citizen Glitch, and I am live today with a special guest I'm sure you all know, Anna Zubarev, the amazing artist, self-taught, known for known origin and her Zentangle art practice. And I'm just going to say, guys, it was her love for the movie, or shall we say, not love of the movie Unchosen, that kind of inspired our conversation today. Wow. How you doing, Miss Anna?
Well, hi there, Red. I was gonna go to X quickly and share it to the world that we are doing this live stream thing situation. Anyways, I just had good news. The piece that
Yes,
I
let's hear
released,
it.
the piece that I minted yesterday, literally midnight, brought it out, talked about it in the space once. It's sold out.
Oh, Anna! Amazing! Amazing! If you don't watch it, I might buy another piece during the stream.
Listen, there's plenty of collaborations for your choice taste of your choice or whatever, however you want to say it. However you want to say it. I'm doing great. I'm doing fabulous. As you can see, I mean, I'm surrounded by my family pictures in the background. My drawing built behind the printer. Gabe Wise is drawing right over here. It's a special piece. He hand drew it for me. He gave it to my hands when I met him. He's a dear. He is a very talented, very admirable person. And I mean, I have artworks on the wall over there. Oh shit! Hold on. You see this?
Oh my goodness, I do. Yes.
So, yeah, I do have art in my creative space. This is literally my office where I work, where I create. I got art everywhere. I mean, shit, I got everywhere art. But it's not about this right now. So I'm doing great. I'm doing fabulous. Happy Tuesday, everyone, whoever is watching it. I'm pretty stoked, to say the least, that at last me and you are doing. Oh, wait a minute, that mean you are doing this live. Sorry, I needed to get back to the screen. So once again, when you're gonna be talking, I will be sharing it. So I need people to know
Yeah.
we are live.
And if you have
But
anything physical that you want to show the audience, like I think
girl,
that
I got art for days. Hold on, I got a folder here that I have so much art, honey. Um, I've I try to talk about it all the time, but here's an interesting piece that I do want to talk about it. I actually had to rip it out of my sketchbook, which I never do. I never rip anything out of my sketchbook.
right, right, right.
But check this out. Isn't this lovely? Look how I made the frame for it, like made it very perfect. So this is my style. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Anna Z. My Instagram account is Zentangle Art Story. I've named this account Zentangle Art Story simply because I do use Zentangle inspired form style to create this intuitively free flow line works. So that's basically a little bit about my art. Yes, I'm obsessed with monochrome art. I really dig it very much, in a sense, because it's me. You know, ever since I remember. I mean, am I good to go back in history?
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do like yes, absolutely. Let's absolutely go back to history. Like, if it's okay with you, I kind of like, because you and I got into this a couple of times ago. You are actually a Russian immigrant, right, to the United States,
Well,
and
Soviet immigrant.
okay, Soviet. Sorry, forgive me for
Soviet, because I was born in Soviet Union, in the country that no longer exists. Okay, the country where I was born is called Belarus, which is was used to be part of Soviet Union,
yes.
but Belarus is an independent country. It's not part of Russia. It's not part of any other thing. It's a completely independent country. The city where I was born is the capital of Belarus. For those of you that are interested, it's not a big city. It only has 3 million people, and the area where I predominantly lived for most of my life is actually Brooklyn, New York. So hence why you can hear my Russian Brooklyn accent. So yes, Russian is my mother tongue, my home country tongue. I do understand Belarusian. I do understand Ukrainian. I understand a little bit of Polish, a couple of other Slavic languages, but I don't speak it fluently. I'm great with English, obviously. Russian, bad English, bad Russian, and a little bit of Spanish. Teeny
But,
tiny
but,
bit.
but this context is really important for people to know because it gives them context and understanding about how you view concepts of freedom, how you view being an American, and ultimately, what it's part of your journey that prompted you to be an artist, isn't it? A little bit or a lot.
Say that again. What's
I,
the
you know what? Sorry, I'm getting a little bit too autistic here. You have to pull me back down a little bit. Like, because you were not like, you didn't grow up like 5 years old, like your parents being like, oh, Anna, wow, you're such a prodigy. Let's just put you in like 50 billion art contests. No, it didn't happen like that, right? So, like, what I'm trying to understand is that if you like, because you and I have talked a bit about like you hate control, you are free spirit, you are rebel. Like, I want to connect the dots so I can understand how maybe coming to this country where you really didn't have the freedoms that you do here affected like your worldview and maybe influenced you to take the artist path.
so no, Red.
No.
No, no,
Oh,
not
I'm totally wrong.
so. So I want to tell you the story began differently than you can imagine because growing up, I would always find myself doodling, doing some sort of thing with just like nearby devices. I'm talking about good old pencil, not number two, or a pen that I had in my hands. So it was just kind of like a not nonchalant kind of a way of keeping my mind busy if I would be bored, basically, right? I guess it's good for ADD or ADHD people. I know I'm not one. So, or at least I don't know. I guess I was never diagnosed, or I don't think I am. I'm not. I am a Virgo, so I am OCD for details. So, going back to the story of my art beginnings, my mom put me through music school, grade first through third. So, yeah, kind of a that deal. So I know a little bit about piano and music notes and all that, do re mi fa sol, whatever, whatever,
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
But it was never my thing. As a child, I don't think as parents, a lot of parents make mistakes where they're gonna place kids there and there and there and there, and they force them doing things they don't like. That's exactly what I did not want to do.
What, helicopter parents are a real thing?
Right. Anyways, but that's what I did not want to impose on my kids because for me it was important to give them an opportunity, let them know, I mean, would you like to go try this? And if you don't like it, let's move on from it like that. And that's how I've discovered creative side of my daughter. But it's not it's I'm gonna go further later in
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So art only came into my life very sporadically in my life because I had a corporate job. I mean, I've had underwriting job and all of that and then some in my life where I no I was a true hustler in a sense where for me it was very important becoming uh finding my own discoveries in life, becoming who it is. What's happening down there?
Oh,
Somebody,
nothing. It's just I'm just looking at somebody.
there's a bird, there's a bird
Yes,
stealing
I'm the bird. No,
stealing
I'm
your food.
kidding. Carry on, carry on. I'm listening to you.
So yeah, anyway, so where was I? So what the hell, Red?
No, you were not like you don't. I mean, like this wasn't. So, you had your corporate job and you were a hustler, like a big time hustler.
Exactly.
See, I
So
listened to you.
so then becoming a parent for the first time in 2007 and then in 2011, made me realize that I also my corporate job days ended in 2012. So my husband luckily gave me an opportunity of a lifetime to become my favorite job ever, domestic engineer. So yeah, he gave me, well, I gave myself that title. So yeah, been domesticated since 2012. Anyways, but then I had time on my hands besides being a mom and everything, and then some to my kids. I wanted to do things that make me happy in my downtime, and art actually happens to be that. And when I shared some of my drawings with my friends, they said, "Oh my God, Anna, your art would be amazing to be in coloring books." I'm like, okay, that's one. All right. And two, I started journaling my art on Instagram when I started in November of 2018. That was my date when all of the magical things happened in my life when it comes to art. And ever since, I've been journaling, literally putting everything on my Instagram page, not because I was seeking to be an influencer of any kind, because to me, this is my journaling of the history, how my art evolved through the years. Because what you see me creating today doesn't equal what I was capable of creating even a year ago. But because simple realization of a factual practice of life is, if you put in the hours, if you put in the work and ethics and dedication doing what you love doing, you're going to become better at it, just like playing sports, right? As you can imagine. So
Sorry, I
yeah.
just that was a hint if you wanted to bring up your favorite sport. You
Yeah,
any
we'll talk about it. But anyways, so anything you put your mind to it, it's possibility if you really, really, really want to go and get it. So, and before 2018, I was dabbling into social media marketing. Hence, I understand a thing or two how to communicate better with people, right? How not to be, oh, go buy my shit, you're gonna like it. No, I don't. Exactly. It's just very annoying to me. It's extremely tacky. So I think a lot of people misunderstand the power of social media and the power of storytelling. And I think, Red, you are a phenomenal human being that knows how to storytell. So yeah, I call storytelling is $1 million skill, and those know how to tell stories will go far in life. So in 2018, my physical art journey took off. And then in 2021, when we were moving from New York, where I've lived for 3 decades, more than half of my life, um, I we moved to Florida, and I've disconnected from the world completely because it was a lot of moving part and a lot of chaos. And I'm like, no, there's no way I can handle any of it right now. So, with that being said, in 2021, a friend of mine that I've met on Instagram connected the dots for me on the Web3 journey. And ever since August of 2021, I've been swimming and grinding and hustling and meeting amazing people like you on the Web3. So, there, that's a little bit in a nutshell of the journey of evolvement. Of course, there's many other aspects we're going to cover,
yeah.
but these are the most important ones.
Yeah, no. I mean, and I absolutely do want to dive into it because I feel like a lot of people don't get to really dig into what makes you excited as much as I would like to dig into that. And dig into that today, right? Because you are on the blockchain. I've heard you in interviews before say that even though you generally would say you're a rebel, that you didn't choose to put your art on the blockchain because of being a rebel, but just that it was very simple. You understood the opportunity. So when your friend told you to get into the Web3 space, what was it about blockchain that made you go, oh, because you sell your stuff now. I see you have physical store where people can buy Anna's art on clothing. You guys, you can buy her stuff on mugs. I mean, she's got it in many different places. She's a fantastic master of marketing, and I mean that in a positive way. But like, what was it that made you go like, I need to have, my art on the blockchain? Exactly. For the
Well,
people who don't know you.
before having my art everywhere else, it was coloring books first that I self-published on Amazon.
On Amazon. Okay, that was the first thing.
That was the first thing.
Yeah.
Then the Web3 art happened, and only then my merch reoccurred because I was fine tuning my style. I was fine tuning my digital art, which, as you can imagine, is exactly what needs to happen in order for this physical artwork to be transformed on the piece of clothing. It needs to look apart. You know what I mean? So I think it was the steps that took from A to B to C and so on and so forth. But what made me happy the most, actually, obviously, the journey of evolvement, and I always be talking about it because Anna was completely different in 2021 to where I am today, and as far as the growth, right? Because in life, when you meet me, you're going to see exactly the same thing. You're not going to get a different persona. I always said this: what you see is what you get. You're not going to get anything else. I don't have double, triple personality. Once again, I don't have pretentiousness or arrogance. I just don't do any of those things because I don't want to be those people that I despise. You know what I'm saying? And that's big part of my rebellious nature, and being rebellious in the sense of uh first and foremost, once again, my style, right? So let's talk about it. So Zentangle, thank you. So Zentangle inspired designs, not a true form of Zentangle. I don't have a sample to show you, but when you do, let's say, Google Zentangle, word Zentangle, it's a meditative form of art that people practice on some kind of square paper or something like that, and they make repetitive designs, very intuitive and very in the state of flow, but they have their own way of doing things. And I'm like, honestly, if I'm gonna make art, I need to make something that makes me happy. And following someone's lead was never my thing. It was never my thing. Once again, being rebellious person that I am. So, truth be told, I'm pretty happy how my style evolved throughout the years. And again, I don't like hype. I don't want to be the first in line to jump into the train. I'm gonna be the last one to jump into the train. But comparing that rebellious nature to the favorite sport of in my life, yes, I'm very competitive on the court. Yeah, pickleball has definitely changed and brought a different side of me I never knew I had. So yeah, I kick ass. So
I know, I love it. I love it. Like when you're always like, sorry guys, I gotta go play pickleball.
yeah, I'm not home from 7 p.m. until 10:30. No, I'm not home. I'm going outside, even though it's stifling outside right now. I don't play good when it's too sunny, but I like when it's dark. There's light above the court, so and I love it. I really really do, and I have my people there, even though sometimes I don't win. It doesn't matter. It's the practice that makes it perfect. And literally, when was this? The weekend we came home from somewhere. I don't remember what. The weekends go by so fast. We came home from something really. We went out with the family. We came home around 10 p.m. ish. And I was like, honey, I do have 1 hour to kill, and I'm going to go and play pickleball. I literally came in. I found this dude who, phenomenal friend of mine, and we played 3 games. We won one after the other. And I was like, let's go. That was it. That's exactly the booster I needed to finish my day. And that's another huge part of the pickleball life. But I also want to say, due to pickleball evening hours, I had to change my art routine because I used to draw at night when kids went to bed. Now that they're older, I don't have to worry about it. But when kids went to bed, like this was 9 p.m. my time, I would like turn off the light in my creative studio, and I would just go doodle.
Oh no, that's so nice. I mean, and it's always just beautiful to tell. But like, when you're talking to me about, like a Zentangle practice, it's inspired, but it's not Zentangle. it's your tangle, it's Anna tangle, really. But like, it's interesting that you talk about it as a practice, as because if we are practicing something, right, then we're never at a place where it's like, oh, I've arrived, right? I don't know if you've heard the phrase Zen mind, beginner's mind, but I mean, I kind of feel like that applies here. And also, you mentioned about flow state. So before I get into like something that's a little bit controversial that you and I talked about earlier, I want to hear more about how you feel about flow state, because to me personally, that is what freedom is. But I think it's a very personal experience, and your experience is so hypnotic. I literally get dopamine hits every time I click on one of your art pieces. It's like dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. Like, how does freedom feel to you in flow state from your perspective?
Well, freedom of expression, freedom of doing exactly where you're meant to do on this planet Earth. It's the ultimate dopamine, like you said. And when you do what you love, nothing else exists in this world, right? And when I'm in the free float of state, I go and I just create, create, create. And there is like, I disconnect from this world. I don't think about anything else. I don't pay attention to the crazy, stupid noise, right? I just go and create beautiful pieces like that, beautiful pieces like that, beautiful pieces like that, beautiful pieces like that, beautiful pieces. Hold on, like that.
No, that's my favorite so far today. Sorry, I'm yelling, but you know me. You've known me for a long time, Anna. It's really hard for me to stay quiet too long.
And hold on, the all seeing eye, all seeing eye, right? I don't have many eye works, but I have that one. And then I also have created this. When did I created this? December. See a little heart kind of a situation. Yeah. So yeah, I got artwork for days, girl, for days. Like I could continue going, right? Continue going, keep showing you the smaller versions of my art. But of course, sketchbook is right next to me as well. This one I like very much because there's so much flow, kind of like, and it's, to see, it's, this is literally the top of the artwork, right? We have the flow, and then it trickles down in here, and everything is connected, like, what's there not to love, you know what I mean? I
So
love,
you don't really know exactly what you're gonna make before you make it. You're saying you
absolutely
just
not.
turn, like, the noise turns off, and
In
you just
case,
start repetitively doing.
yeah, like literally. So hold on, let me just make sure this is one, because the paper is so thick, right? It's a quality paper. So like so, but then the days when I actually know what I want to create, most of the time it will be Moon Crescent, but also, well, a whole bunch of other shits inside. Tangles. Tangles.
So
But
pretty.
and that's my state of flow, where I'm not commanded to do what I'm not supposed to do. And I think I want to emphasize to say, when I did my corporate job, I was constantly told, oh, you have to talk a certain way, you have to dress a kind of way, you gotta be presentable, you gotta be this, and you gotta be this. Yes, I get it, it's a discipline because you are around other human beings, and it is the way it should be. And I think being coming from a very disciplinary parenthood, especially my mom, right? It served me well, as much as I try to rebel against it, because, say, I didn't rebel against it and I became this sheeple kind of a minded person, right? I would not be Anna Z today. You know what I mean? Like, I will be like a robot. Like, come on, left, right, straight, back, whatever. So I think having my own way of looking at the world, seeing things how I want to see them, do things how I want to do them, allows me to be me, myself, and I. Because yes, for the longest time, I was told what to do once again back in the corporate days. Certain hours. It was this unspoken. You know what really got me was this: when I had my last corporate job, when I worked for Fortune 500 company, um, it was so demanding. They did not care that I was a brand new mom of two kids, right? They did not care. They wanted me there from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. But I'm sorry, my hours of operation was from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. And the looky looks of those single ladies in the office would I would get like, how dare she leave at 5 p.m.? Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, yeah. So yeah. So
No, I don't miss corporate.
I don't miss corporate, and I've seen a bunch of examples how these corporate ladies work themselves to the age of the unknown, where it was too late to be a mom, and that's really is very sad in today's day and age. Like, how is it possible that people turn 50 years old, and I'm not judging anyone because everyone has their own circumstances.
correct. Yeah.
Me, I wanted to become a parent as badly as I wanted to breed. And I wanted to, give life to my kids. Anyways, but I will never understand how corporate job demands those things from you. So hence why I guess I have to thank my lucky stars to my husband who allowed me to be the best mom that I can be.
You always say nice things about your husband, Alex, and
I
I
don't know
love
why
that.
he doesn't deserve them.
You were just saying he does so many nice things, and now you're saying he doesn't
I
deserve it.
gotta rebel. What can I say?
We all know you love him, and that's a beautiful thing. But like, I love, like, and now I feel like we can kind of get into like the fight against control, which I feel like brought out the Anna, because sometimes I feel like the more we're restrained, we're gonna come out and be like a gazillion times more creative after something like that happens, like just in general. So we talked a little bit offline about this movie called Unchosen, right? And it really speaks to your hatred of control. So I don't know if you wanted to talk a little bit about that, but I was curious about like how Zentangle, your method that you're inspired by, I mean, does it kind of serve in any way as like your personal unchosen moment? I mean, is there any connect there, or it's just like
There's
when you
no
saw a film
connection
like that?
there.
Sorry,
No,
what?
no. Well, movie and choosing and my life have absolutely night and day completely. Like, it's we're talking about I'm in the America and the movie is in China. So completely two different directions. Yeah,
Completely. But you're
completely.
very passionate about how much you hate control, and that film, you can't, you brought it up.
Well, there's two movies that are resemble similar ideas: Unorthodox and
Unorthodox.
Unchosen. Those ultra religion clan movies basically, and how much they control their own narrative where people live inside of those communities, and then they're not allowed to do what we doing every single day, right? Using cell phones, using internet, eating whatever food that we want to eat. And I don't have the word for it, but I I was brought into this world with no religion. My parents did not have a religion, but and once again that has to do with the fact that I was born in Soviet Union, which prohibited any sort of religion for almost 80 years. So there's zero religion. Even if God forbid they will find like some kind of like a religious symbolic jewelry on you, that will be punishable by jail time. Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, that
I mean, it makes sense, but still, like, I'm
it
still like,
does
I'm trying
not
to
make sense to nobody, and hence why thank God and bless America every single day that it allows people to live the lives that they want to live. And people don't actually realize how fucked up of a system socialism system is, how fucked up communism is, how fucked up brainwashing is when people don't even know anything other than what it is, right? And I'm specifically talking about those kind of cults where people brainwashed because there's one man that decides to marry 80 fucking girls. I'm just saying that is brainwashing. So listen, I'm not bashing any religion because I have utmost respect for people that have religious views. You have your own views, please. I'll respect that. But if that becomes a cult, I have zero respect for that. Like, no. Religion should be free. And again, coming from a non-religious person, right? I'm gonna say this: I respect your religion perspective, but it's simply not for me. But on and it's once again, Red, it's hard to get back from talk about art to talk about something extremely controversial to this topic. But I think
But there is a connection.
which one? Rebellious?
Well, it's not just the rebellion, but it's just like you don't take for granted like all the freedoms that we have in America, despite the fact that there are problems here and we do have them. And like, and it wouldn't you say like that your contrast, right, with the Zentangle, right? That it's Eastern mindfulness, right? Like, is creating on chain or just creating art in general, is that part of your way of even rejecting the quote unquote chosen gatekeepers of the traditional motherfucking art world?
Yeah. Well, funny thing is, the other day I came across a video on Instagram. It was in Russian. This dude went to the gallery and he was looking at artworks that, in my opinion, probably a 5-year-old painted with a bunch of Dollar General
Okay.
paintbrush. And I'm saying this in an easy way of saying it. It was a complete mess of whatever the fuck it was in there. And I can curse in your spaces. I just want to make sure.
Girl,
Okay.
it's me. Please. You
Okay.
know we both love Gary V, also an immigrant to America, you know? My girl.
That's right. Anyways, so, and he was saying how each artwork is like $6 million. And I'm like, I sent this video to a bunch of my friends, and every single one of them said, we are doing something really, really wrong. So, talk about gatekeeping. Yes, I do think a lot of those gatekeepers selfishly promote certain kind of a style which is so erratic and it is so unexplanatory. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to bash anyone in here. I know art opinions are extremely subjective.
Yes.
That's it. But
But
but to that, I will say one simple explanation. I will refuse to understand those type of artworks. I will never cease to understand what the fuck that artwork is about. I refuse to bow to that. So there, that's my rebellious explanation to the gatekeepers that, like, say for example, glitch art, right? I will never understand it. I think out of the entirety of glitch art I've seen, maybe I like 1/8 of a percentage of the artworks that I potentially kind of liked. But again, to each his own. It's their money. They're gonna spend how they're gonna cry if they want to. Or to that, I'm gonna say this: let them eat cake.
oh, she said it, y'all. Anna Z just said, let them eat cake. Ah,
That's right.
somebody's
That's
gonna
right.
clip that. It might even be me.
Let them eat cake once again. Ow. So again, I look, just like in fashion, right? We could talk about it. There's things that I will never understand, right? And there are brilliant designers out there that forever and ever will go down in history. But there's one thing that my mom taught me really well, and I will really, I would, if I could, I would probably put it in somewhere in some kind of like symbolic way. She said this to me many, many moons ago. Simplicity, listen to this, simplicity will never go out of style. So, hands why.
Well, I mean, like, think about it though. Why could, I mean, like, because something that's simple doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't have nuances. Everything does, right? But if you think about it, if it's simple, what kind of hidden agenda could possibly be behind something simple?
Exactly.
Because if it's simple, it's honest.
Yeah,
You don't have to question it.
exactly.
So it will never go out of style in as much as people try to bury it,
Yeah.
try to delete it, try to distort it.
Mhm.
Simplicity is always there, and it's just like even your artworks are intricate, but like there is like a simplicity to the repetition of the patterns, even though there's nuances, and that's freaking gorgeous.
Do you see the difference? This is black and white, and this is blue ink.
I like it though. I didn't know you liked blue. I thought you were just black and white with a little bit of red here and there.
No. Well, red, I do have red as well, and I've created some reds, black and red.
Yay! I thought you just had the red with like the little star in it. Like that's the only red that I thought that you had. Oh my goodness. Guys, follow Anna Z and buy Anna for more art. If I have your links for like, oh my god, you've not shown me any of these. Are these stuff you haven't minted yet, or what? I haven't seen any of these.
No, they have never been minted.
That's why I freaking love these. How new are these? They're so pretty.
I made them. Shit, I forgot to put the date on them. Last year. Oh, I'll tell you what happened. So I was moving my daughter. We moved her to a dorm in the university that she went for a year, and I was looking. I was cleaning her room, and I found this markers by Stedler, and there's a collection of four in there: black, green, blue, and red. So I'm like, why don't I try to mix it up my style with just just doing some a little fun. I even left this area blank. Sometimes I do that as well intentionally. So yeah, it's fun. And I've got, of course, the screen does not truly show the brightness of this red, unfortunately. Oh,
I love that.
People be throwing garbage cans and shit over there.
They're not throwing garbage cans. Just people are walking around. For those of you guys who don't know, I guess I'll just tell the simple fucking truth. I got evacuated from where I was living a couple of days ago. The cops were there, and they're like, and I didn't do anything wrong. It's just there was just a gas leak in the area, and it seemed not to be safe. So the cops came in, and they were like, "You got 20 minutes to get out of here," and I'm like, "Oh, GM, back to you." I mean, so here we are in a place where it's beautiful. We're outside, and I love it. But like, also, I thought the brick was kind of like artistic, and I thought it was kind of pretty. So I just thought it's a nice background to kind of just honor like where we're at. Again, like I couldn't control what happened. It happened, and what do we do? I mean, part of you understand the whole creative process is it's not about control. It's about that surrender. It's about being in that flow state. About not trying to force like anything to happen at all. But if it's okay with you, I kind of want to get back to a little bit about your philosophy, Zentangle story, right? So, and maybe this is a horrible debate because I've been getting to a different place with it myself, but the whole religion versus philosophy debate, right? You've built your brand a lot in part, inspired by, the Zentangle art story. And many people, they say, oh, Eastern traditions, that's not religion, that's philosophy, right? Because they focus on rituals rather than dogma. Does this distinction shape your digital identity at all?
No, not at all. First of all, I'm a big history buff, so anytime I get an opportunity to learn a little bit more and deep and dive deeper into the real history that happened thousands of years ago, yeah, sign me up for that class anytime. I'm a big history fan. So when you said Eastern European religion versus um,
Oh, yeah, versus versus philosophy, right?
right,
Just
so
religion versus philosophy debate.
philosophy of Eastern European people versus Western people is very different. It is very different because, for one, Western people never understood what it's like to live in a place where it has been invaded by an enemy that wants to kill you and genocide you and do all those nasty things to you and then take over your land. Unfortunately, or maybe even fortunately, American people never knew that feeling, right? Yes, they went to wars. Yes, they created a lot of wars, right? Every single war for the past 100 years have been created predominantly by American people. Unfortunately, I'm going to say that. So the mentality of entitlement exists predominantly in the Western world, and of course, a little bit in England. And what's the what are they called? I forgot the name of that. But Eastern Europe has been invaded many times. Specifically, good old Russia, right? It has been invaded gazillion times, well, at least three times by Napoleon, by Swedish people, by once again German people, World War I, World War II, right? It has been invaded by other Mongols, for example, right, in 1200 uh, BCE. I'm just saying, I don't know if you knew that Mongols invaded Russia, well,
I didn't.
Russian land, right, because it was not Russia at the time, right? It was 1200s. For almost 300 years, Russian people had to bow to Mongols, to Chinggis Khan, right? Genghis Khan. That's how you say it in English. Sorry.
Yes, yes.
So they were, I'm gonna say, almost enslaved, like, right. Irish people were enslaved by the English for also like 300 something years, or if not 700. Someone corrected me the other day, and I think so. The philosophy is like this, right? My philosophy of life is appreciate every single moment of your day, appreciate every single person in your life, value the fact that you wake up, you have the roof above your head, wake up and you have nobody's knocking on your door is trying to take over your house or your land. You know what I'm saying? You got the food in refrigerator, you could actually cook, right? If we go back to basics on the philosophy of life, that's how I look at it. I think it's the little things in life that make me happy. So I think that don't let's not try to overcomplicate shit. And funny thing is, one of my favorite Netflix series is right now is actually Diplomat, and I'm rewatching it for the second time. Yeah, it's really good because the the acting of it and the way it was written for the actors to say the script of the words, obviously all of that, it's so just mind-blowing because there's a lot of reality in the movie itself, because president, right, of whatever country, this country, whatever country, current president, past presidents, they're not the one who actually call the shots. There's people, the small, little puppeteers, right? Right. There is a bigger puppet master above them all that puppeteers all of them, right, and tells them where to go, and who take out and who don't take out, and all of that, and then some. So Diplomat is literally about that. So all these diplomats, all they're doing is creating fucking mess out of nothing. Fuck, just live your life. Live your life and let others live. But
That
then
makes too
again,
much sense, though.
so going back,
Right. I'm so sarcastic all the time.
which is awesome. So, but yeah, there's always a greater perspective about life here in America, in the Western world, versus the life in Eastern Europe or Western Europe or shit, Africa, or I don't know, some other place that you've not heard before. There's always a greater
Oh no,
perspective.
you and I were talking about people who are like, "Oh my god, we should all just go to China because
No,
they
no.
have amazing tech there." And you were just like, "Oh my
China
god."
lives China lives at least 100 years further than America could ever dreamed of living. If you watched any of the most recent videos about specific areas of China, like those 20 million people city population cities, that's yes, it's a lot of people over there. But again, China has the biggest population in the world. I don't know how the fuck they reproduce so fast. They had a ban at one point where there was only one child allowed in a family. Can you
Yeah, yeah,
imagine?
yeah, yeah.
So, but anyways, China reproduces really fast. Needless to say, they definitely had a an integral uh, capability because they had. I don't know if you remember, but I certainly do remember. Don't remember what year this was, but they had an open policy where they could create so many businesses. As you know, anything you touch in America, anywhere you look, is 99.9% is made in China.
That's true.
So how the fuck do you think Chinese people live, especially if they own gazillion factories that produces everything that bring here and everywhere else in the world? Why did America stop producing their own shit? Why did America kill the railroad system? Why Europe has a railroad system that works 100 times better than American one? I mean, for one, people, if they had a railroad system that allowed me to travel from the northeast side Florida to the south Florida in a matter of 2 3 hours, I mean, don't you think it would be much more economical for me and I guess what's the word, green free or something like this, you know
Yeah.
what I mean,
Oh,
like
no, no, no. Absolutely. Like, no, absolutely. And I experienced similar things like living in Japan. I think I've told you about that. Like the bullet train they have out there. My coworkers out there were like, "What do you mean you don't have the Shinkansen in LA? Oh, no Shinkansen." Like,
that's what I'm
but carry
saying.
on.
There's a greater perspective, and of course the grass is always greener on the
Of
other
course,
side,
of
but
course, of course.
I don't see myself living anywhere else. I'm pretty happy here in the northeast Florida. Ever since we left New York City, I don't think I want to go back to New York City dump. New York City is the greatest city in the world, but it has been ruled by the mighty socialists right now. So I'm like, no, it's all right. I've been there, done that. When my parents took me and brought me to America to pursue capitalist way of living. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. But I don't understand the people who actually go and fucking voted for that idiot Mandani who is destroying New York City. I mean, the previous mayor of New York City, Adams, my God, one after the other. It's decline upon decline, decline upon decline. And I don't understand how these billionaires, people that live in New York City, allow this shit to happen. But what do I know about life? Anyways, next
Well, no,
topic,
but you
honey.
come from like a different, like you come from a different background. You have an appreciation, and like you have told me before, right? It's a lot of times people they don't because they don't have the kind of experience that you have. Like they just have this attitude of I'm just gonna go like somewhere else. It's gonna be so much better, but they don't realize the freedoms that they're be giving up. Even some of our friends in the art community, right? Bringing it back to art because art imitates life, life imitates art. They were even saying like in some of their countries, there's certain kinds of art that's prohibited that they can't even make,
Yeah.
right? But
Well,
out here, it's not even just that you have freedom to make art. You live in Florida, which has a pretty flourishing and very inviting art community, which
yeah.
actually just encourages more, more freedom, right? Like if you didn't have like, I mean, like, and it's your self-expression, it's yours, it belongs to you. I mean, and it's not fucking corporate America. This is Anna's Zentangle art story, not corporate, not the Soviet Union. It's you.
It's me all the way through, honey. It is me, myself, and I. 100%.
No, but that matters. And like, I know I'm getting a little bit philosophical, but you know me. This is how I am. But like, I'm one of those people that used to like to argue, like, or I used to get really fucking triggered when people would be like, Buddhism's not a religion, it's a philosophy, and you can't call it a religion, and they want to get all argumentative, and I'm just like, but it is recognized as a religion in many parts of the world, and it just people just argue back and forth, and it's like, but you can't be an atheist and a Buddhist at the same time, and blah blah blah, and people just get all fucking, they get all just fucking weird in their head, right? Just about like trying to describe things, trying to put words. But at the same time, I understand why people do have like trauma behind certain words and why certain words are triggering to them, even if you kind of like break it down. And partially, it's not even just their trauma. It's about the fact that historically speaking, right? And you've experienced this, in your early life, even before, you know what it's like to have people coming to your door. You know what it's like to grow up in a place where they try to control you have family members, where you've seen like where religion is dogma. But the thing is that it's it's not necessarily that it has to be religion to have dogma. It could be like the government that is dogmatic, or anybody that's like trying to have like control over you. And I still have been even fond of using the word spiritualism at times, but then I realized that's kind of triggering for some people, because then it makes them think of like,
I mean, let's wait. Hold on. Pause here for
I'm
a
rambling.
moment.
Yeah, for carry on.
The word triggering for some people needs to be disconnected from your vocabulary.
They do.
Yeah, no, you need to disconnect those people out of your world,
Out of
because
my world.
yeah, because the if something is triggering in them to outburst and to you, to tell you this is not right and this is not how it's supposed to be. Listen, I'm very selective when it
Yeah.
comes to friends, bringing someone close to me or bringing someone to my house. Look at it this way: the word triggering to me represents literally pulling a trigger, in a sense of that. So when people get triggered by something, okay, let them fucking trigger in their own time.
I love that. No, I mean, because then I start to think I have to find other words in my vocabulary, or I have to use another word,
No, you don't need to do any of that, Red.
because
When
that's
people
control, right? By them trying to
Because
say,
when people get triggered, let
yeah,
them get triggered, but let that not bother you. Because at the end of the day, exactly, here's another aha moment for you. If they are triggered by the words that you're saying, those people don't belong in your life. That's as simple as that. Does it make sense?
yeah. So if somebody gets triggered when they see Zentangle, it's like,
No. If people get triggered by the notion, oh my god, especially this new generation of kids, they get triggered. Oh my god, it is raining outside. I'm gonna be exhausted by the time I get to my 9 to 5. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna get an anxiety, and then I'm gonna sue my employer because I got an anxiety. Get the fuck out of here, please. Anyways, I have a very short temper when it comes to triggering. It's just, it gets my blood boiling because there's always a next level of perspective. Because in my days, the parental upbringing of myself, my mom was never triggered by me having a fever. Just go to fucking school. That's
she
it.
was never afraid of what? Afraid of what?
She was never triggered by the fact that I have a little runny nose and she sent me to school. Unless I had a fever like running over 104, then yeah, she would allow me to stay home for one day. But other than that, you have a runny nose, you have a little cough, go to fucking school. There is no triggering in my house. So yeah, it was kind of like army discipline in a way, even though my mom did not come from military family at all. But you gotta work in your life. You gotta do something, in order to become someone. And be your own human being. But when you get triggered by certain narratives, get a life. That's what I would say to those people.
So
Get a
those people like get a life if they have a problem with certain this and that,
yeah,
because the reality is like people, you're right, they're getting triggered, but they're not listening to the person explain about whatever that concept means to them, whether it's Zentangle or whatever it is. They've turned their freaking ears off and they've decided, I'm not going to listen to anything Anna has to say. Red's fucking nuts. Like, I'm just so triggered because I heard some word that's triggering that, like, I can't, I don't have the ability to see things from their perspective. And your idea is, you know what? Those people that are telling you, you can't say this, you can't say that, word police, right? And what
yeah,
is that? That's control. That's the opposite of what you do as an artist.
yeah.
They want to control your like expression. And it's like, it's one thing, right? If I said something rude.
Did you sit? Tell me honestly, a little pause from what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Did
yeah,
you sit
100%.
next to a cart thingy? Next,
No, somebody just,
what are they smashing next to
what are they
you?
smashing? Like, honestly, like, people are so loud with the chairs that they're pushing in and out. And
Yeah.
I have no idea why they're being so loud with the chairs. And I'm really sorry about that. But they're kind of loud with the
I
chairs.
also wanted to know, yeah, I wanted to know what is the time that we have allocated for this showing.
If you want to get going, you can get going anytime. I mean,
It's
I'm here.
not about that, but I want you to finish with your questions because I'm sure you prepared all of them.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I still have some more if you're
I
okay
do
with that.
have probably 15 more minutes for
Okay,
this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's
So,
fucking go. So yeah, I did have like more stuff, but you said, but you had an interesting answer that I didn't like necessarily anticipate, which is great, right? You've talked a little bit about like just if we're talking a little bit about some of the characters, right? Does building this kind of like decentralized identity allow you, do you feel like, to exist outside of these quote unquote chosen narratives of the art world, like the characters in Unchosen?
yes and no, and yes and no. So, yeah, I wish I could say I could live off of the money that I make on crypto, right? But I think having the having my crypto preserved, right, also gives me this some sort of like a notion that government cannot control me in a sense of that. But also there is a bigger question, right? If we again, government got into crypto and they started taxing us because yeah, of course they got to milk the system. You know what I'm saying? Which is like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Whoever created crypto tried to get away from all of that stuff, but unfortunately they did not succeed with that. So can I say honestly that I am fully free? No, I'm not. None of us are free. We still got to pay our taxes. We still got to do ABCs, all of those things. There's no one that is free out there. Even fucking Bill Gates, who pays gazillion in taxes. Elon Musk pays gazillion in taxes. And what's his guy? Amazon founder, whatever. What's his name? Escape my mind. What's the Amazon founder's name?
Bezos.
Bezos. Jeff Bezos,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
The richest of the rich, they still pay a lot of money. But you know what defines us? The freedom of choice, I think, right? We do have to do our things. I'm not anarchist by any means. I like to live comfortably. And I think I live in a house that I love very much. I have everything I need, what I need. Of course, it would be nicer to have some extra finer things in life, but can I live without them? House to the yes. But to me, I think having necessities out that are most important to me, I have that. I have my bed, I have my whatever, I have my beautiful kitchen where I can cook whatever the fuck I want to cook. And yes, because I've missed my cultured food, I've learned to cook those things because they just simply don't make them anywhere around here. So I had to learn to cook that, which is annoying, but it is what it is. I take it with a grain of salt. That's my answer to you. Next question.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, 120%. Um, but I mean, I kind of want to comment on that a little bit when you said nobody is completely free. Well, I mean, like, we're not. ever going to be completely free from consequences, right? And yeah, I mean, as long
Or
as we,
from the government.
well, no, because taxes. But I think we can have, I think that there is a level to where we can have more freedom because of crypto than if we didn't. Not gonna lie, I'm not really thrilled about them getting more in our business when it comes to crypto. Not gonna say I'm in love with that. But I mean, we'll get creative with the taxes. I mean, if we have to, I've already been thinking about some of that myself. But I mean, I kind of wanted to talk about the public nature of your NFTs with the private Zen state. Okay, so your creative process, it starts from a place of like, you know, deep solitude, right? So if Unchosen, right, is about the individual against the collective, how do you protect your Zen space from the public scrutiny um, that is, ultimately out there? Like, or do you feel like you even have to protect it?
I don't have to do anything. I don't have to protect it in a sense. But I think the most annoying question to me was, when are you going to color your art?
That is annoying.
That is just not who I am. I'm not gonna color it. If I feel like coloring, I'm gonna color it. But who is anyone to tell me what I should or shouldn't do with my art? That's my answer. That's how
Well,
I
here's the
protect it.
thing. Why are they telling you that? Especially if, like, I understand, like, we've talked about the history of commissioned pieces, and then that also has existed historically, obviously, in music. But it's like people who are not commissioning you to do something specifically
Yeah,
for them. Who the fuck do they think
yeah.
that
Put
they
your
are?
money where your mouth is. Exactly.
Uh,
That's it. That's it. That's how I look at it. If you want me to paint it in red ink, please send me the money.
Yeah, yeah, no, 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 100%. I kind of wanted to ask a little bit more about blockchain, right? Like for you, in a sense, like, so you are a bona fide Hall of Fame artist, right? And you've seen the power dynamics shift in the art world. Okay, so if we view also blockchain, even though it's getting a little more corporate, which is annoying as fuck, um, but not just as tech, but as the shift towards the, shall we say, spectrum of decentralization, right? Because it is a spectrum, right? Do you feel like it finally is offering the sovereignty that you couldn't get with trad art, or do you just feel like we're doomed? I mean, is there a bright future for you to be able to have more control over your work with Web3, or ultimately no, as the government gets more involved with our
I
shit?
mean, I don't see how government can control the way of me creating art.
They can't. No,
They cannot. They cannot.
they better fucking not.
Yeah, they can control how much money I process through if I decide to exchange it. That's the only thing they can control. But other than that, they cannot control or tell me how I should create my art, where should I make my art, who I should sell it to, who I shouldn't sell it to. I don't think that's a probability, even in remote discussion. But I do think, I do hope there will be a crypto spike somehow, some way, where collectors decide to come back to the space and buy art and support, artists like myself who have been creating nonstop and been dying to sell every single artwork over here, physical, non-physical, whatever you got, right? Like every piece that I showed you from what I just showed you, it's digitized, and except for the red ones, of course, the black
Right.
and
I
red.
have one last question for you, if that's okay. Okay, so this is the fun one for me. If your work were to be discovered millennia from now, right? What would it say about the human refusal to be controlled and instead to be powerful by mindful creation?
It's a great question. I've never thought about it like that, but I can tell you that my art is a state of flow, a natural, intuitive way of creating art. And I think if someone decides to pursue similar art style, they may not find copying my art will be an ideal, right? But I think it will allow them to experience similar freedom as I did when I've created it.
That makes sense. I mean, that totally makes sense. Well, I don't have like any other questions. Is there anything else you want to tell the audience today about where they can find you more, where they can follow you? Because we've had people that have been tuning into us this whole time. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but like I
Yeah,
can see the people that have
I
been
do.
tuning
I
into us
see on
live.
X we have 35 people.
On
Thank
my
you.
end, it says we've got 36 people. No, now 37. And that doesn't even count the replay when people start listening later.
Well, first and foremost, thank you everyone who tuned in to watch the fascinating and a little bit controversial interview that Red proposed to do with me, and I appreciate that greatly. Thank you for your time, attention, and of course, most importantly, your time. But where you can find me, obviously, here on X, Anna Z. Anna LZ, Anna L Zubarev, that's me, my handle. Zentangle Art Story on my Instagram, but you could just head over to my link tree in my bio and you could find the most important link shortcuts. My art is on Object, my art is on Transient. Those are two platforms where I mint my art. And that's basically it. I don't think I will ever go to Bitcoin. I don't think I will go to Solana at this particular point. Doesn't make sense. So right now, Transient is my new addition in a sense where I'm going to start building collections. Object has the most collections of my art. I have a lot of pieces in there, and as of today, I've minted a piece 5 years in the making. It's called a Pearl River. It's a rectangular piece. It's in a true form Zentangle inspired design, my style. I've decided to mint only 3 editions. And as of right now, literally right before we started the show, the piece got sold out, and I'm beyond proud of the fact.
Wait. Can I? You want me to do something really quick? I'm
I
gonna
don't
do
know.
something right now for you. Like you have a piece called "The Freedom of Something," yada yada, and I want to
Where
find it. And I want, yeah, you have something on Object, like
freedom? I don't have freedom
you
pieces.
do, you do. Like unless I'm like I can't, unless I'm blind, and I want to like I want to see if I can find it, and I want to get it for you right here
And
on
while
screen.
you looking, why don't you answer me the question? What provoked you to buy that piece, collaborative piece with Lara? Lara actually is from Syria. She she and I collaborated. This piece was created 3 years ago. Just
Okay,
FYI.
I mean like
And
my
it's only
answer,
now sold out due to you. So thank you.
I didn't even know that I was the last one to buy it. I'm trying to find. Okay, I found you, Anna Zubarev. But like now, I just want to
What's the
get
name
to
of
like
the piece?
the one that I bought this morning.
Yeah, no, not the one you talked
There's
about.
another one I want to buy that I saw last night, but I just thought it'll be more cool if I buy it during the space. It has like it's called like the freedom of choice or something, and I want to get it right now because I've
And you
never
show
bought art
it.
on a stream, and this is and I want to make a little bit of like a little bit of history that matters to me, right?
All right.
I'm not gonna lie, I've done things that were historical that nobody gave a fuck about, but I'm like, you know what? They don't need to care about it all the time, and sometimes they may not care about it until I've been dead for 300 years. Who gives a fuck? But what really matters is the fact that the truth can never really go away, and no matter how much we try to delete history, it's always there. As
It's
long
always
as we
there.
are willing to research. Okay, so right now, here is this piece, Freedom from Choice. I'm buying it from you right now on the stream.
Who
Let's
is it,
connect. Let's
who
fucking go.
who is it collaborated with, or is
This
it my
one,
own?
this one, it's with someone, Loya, yada yada.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this person, Loya.
I'm
Uh,
pretty sure I do, but if
yeah,
you like
yeah,
it,
you do if you guys did a collab, 100%. Um, and now
awesome.
it says wrapping up your artwork. Please wait, please wait, please wait. And
I'm
it should
about
be
to
in
get a
my.
notification, so I will know exactly which one.
You're gonna know. It says it's still wrapping up my artwork. Freedom of choice, guys. We've been talking about themes of freedom, freedom of choice. So I think it's like appropriate that I'm the first buyer and the first owner of Freedom of
Wow.
Choice by Anna. I think that like this was the moment. Remember when you and I have these talks about, people buying stuff at the right time, the right collector. I'm the collector that was supposed to be the first one to collect this because we're talking about freedom of choice and we're talking about themes of freedom and sovereignty and art and expression. And so this was the right moment for me to end the stream because it's my freedom of choice to buy the art I want, to support the artists I fucking want. And I support you, Anna Z. Now you should see that Freedom of Choice, the first edition has been sold, and I own it now.
Wow, you are amazing because let me just see something. Yeah. Wow. Um six
What do you mean?
there's
Wow,
six
you know it. You can see. I just bought it. You
so
can just check your
okay,
options.
okay. So there's three editions now with your sale has been sold, and so three more is available. Got it. Because you said you were the first one. No, there's two other people that bought before you.
I thought that I was the first. Now my ego is hurt.
You're
Because
fine.
they
Loya,
never.
yeah, she's a girl from Russia, I believe, and I don't know if she's still on a Web3 or not. I don't remember seeing her around. But again, I do want to say humongous thank you to you, Red, for dedicating your time, for finding all the right questions to talk about the story of my my art journey, right? My thoughts on the world and controversy, right? Don't get triggered by people's stupidity. Just do you, and appreciate the finer
But that's
things in
freedom.
life.
That's
It
that's literally
is. It
that's
is. It
literally like
is.
at the heart of everything we talk about on Citizen Glitch. And I know you said you hated glitch art, but like literally, like the name of the series I do here is Citizen Glitch, is that everything we talk about every week, guys, if you don't know, it's always going to be based in human
It
rights.
is. And Red, my opinion about glitch art has nothing to do with whether you should or shouldn't do it. You're gonna do you at the end of the day, and that's exactly the freedom of choice you have. Do you understand? But I
Yeah,
sincerely
no,
appreciate
and
it. And
I do.
yeah, so leave this for your audience. When are you
Okay.
having your next interview? Is it next Tuesday, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern
I'm
Standard?
doing. You haven't met him, but like it's a gentleman named Alan Rojas. We are going to be talking about the history of cryptography and cypherpunks next week,
Wow.
because a lot of people don't know. And for those of you who know me, I didn't know fuck all either. When I got into this space, like yeah, art came a little bit later, but I thought it was just like drugs, partying, rugging people. I mean, like hanging around the LA vape cabal. My views are a little bit a little bit twisted, but through some wonderful people that I met in the Tezos community, they turned me on to other folks like Justin Bonds, Joel Valenzuela, the amazing Dash community. Shout out to you guys. I mean, thank you for like bringing me into reality, into history, and and it's just really truly just wanting to bring everything back to what crypto should have been about, which is increasing our humanity and finding ways to connect to our humanity. So no matter what, on Citizen Glitch, whether we're talking about art as sovereignty, whether we're talking about quantum resistant technology or decentralized science, at the heart of it, I don't want us to forget that we're humans at the end of the day, and it is our technology that we should be using to help expand our humanity, not diminish it. And that's all I got for y'all. Any last words you wanted to say to the audience, Anna Z?
Be kind to one another and create what makes you happy. That's the most important aspects of life, right? Enjoy what you got in this lifetime.
Yay! Okay. And you know why we should enjoy this lifetime, Anna? Just like your peace, the freedom of choice.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.